Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. So, Beastgrave is done. Long live Beastgrave. Now we've got a new one. We've got Direchasm for Warhammer Underworlds. So yeah, I painted the entirety of Beastgrave at this point, with the exception of just a few of the terrain bits, and eventually I'll get around to them. But today we're going to check out Direchasm and hope that maybe we can eventually play Warhammer Underworlds again? I haven't even opened the box yet. That's why it's all stuck. Board. Counters. Rulebook. Yeah? Okay. Pile of cards. Pile of dice. What the heck is that? Fuzzy stuff. Well, nobody cares about that stuff. Let's take a look at the good stuff. Okay. 2 new sets of half sprues. We've got the High Elves here, and somebody's cape decided that it wanted to come off. Big, round, bulky bases. These are quite something. I know they're posed all over them. And we've got all kinds of fiddly little grasses. And most importantly, one of the cow-helmeted-headed High Elves, whatever they're called, Lumineth. Some of these are going to be kind of tricky to get off of the sprue here. I'm not looking forward to that, but hopefully I can keep it in one piece. So far, I've had a pretty good track record of not managing to ruin any of my Underworlds kits as I remove them from the sprues, but some of these new guys look like they are ready to challenge that record. There's just some thin looking stuff here. At least the arm is attached to the rest of the body. That's just like it. Nope, it's already broken. Haha. Yay, thanks GW. Look at that. Lame. Well, hopefully I can get it fixed. Okay. Already out of the box and it's been trashed. Oh well. Cool little back banner there. Hopefully our Slaanesh friends are in better shape. Now look at that. It's just like much bigger, simpler, chunkier parts. And you know what happens with bigger, simpler, chunkier parts? They don't break in transit. Shock of shocks. Except for this. God, man. I am not having luck with things. I gotta say, this is like the last few videos I've tried to film. Either parts are missing, things are broken, I can't finish them, I gotta contact people. Oh well. Those at least are quick and easy fixes. I am impressed with just how big our Slaanesh demon friend is. They look big. And they're on a 40mm base. Interestingly, there's only 4. Oh, no, I guess it is 4 and 4. I was going to say they seem a little bit smaller in terms of parts, but then again, you know, the last box set for Beastgrave, I think there were a lot more models on both sides as is. So it should be interesting to see how they play and how they hold up in combat compared to them, because I'm pretty sure the Beastmen were a little bit lighter in terms of, you know, not being able to take as many hits. But I wouldn't know because I never got to play Beastgrave ever yet. So, yeah, I'm not sore about that or anything. Give me a moment. We are going to attempt to repair these, and hopefully everything will turn out okay. Alright guys, so I've got everything put together, and I'm not sure how well our Slaanesh friends are going to show up on camera. I think it probably would have a wiser choice to actually go and spray them ahead of time, but just so you can see them as is. I gotta say, once more, GW continues to impress me with the style and sculpting and modeling going on here. This is a big, interesting looking model. I haven't even opened the cards yet, so I don't know what's up. Our champion friend here is almost as large, if not as large. Yeah, he does have a bit of a bigger base, but he's got that crazy elaborate headdress as well. This guy is big, considering the other 2 more human mortal members of the warband. This is the one that had the jacked up chain. It's really hard to see it. I tried to fix it. Hopefully it stays one piece. So you can see here, there is a bit of a difference in size. And then my favorite of the bunch are Halbertus, which will be an interesting one to paint. Actually, the whole group will. I gotta say, as Underworlds continues to evolve and change and move into new seasons, it's really neat to see more and more interesting and diverse sets of figures. Now, the Lumineth, I think at this point, were probably one of the craziest and parts-heavy groups of models. Some of the parts were more obvious where they fit than others. You can see it's just a very, very obvious gap there that would probably need filling. I don't really care because I want to be able to get in there to paint it. And I'll probably dismantle it. This stupid thing, as you saw earlier, was completely snapped off. It's also funny, I want to say that the Slaanesh side was maybe 13, 14 parts in all, including the bases, whereas the Lumineth were about 30-something for 4 models as well, which is kind of crazy. That's like Kingdom Death levels of tininess. Admittedly, some of it's just like, little bonsai trees and little, flocks of grass, but yeah. Speaking of Kingdom Death, I gotta say, just this color of the plastic really, it was giving me vibes of Kingdom Death stuff. So yeah, that is the mage. Here is our archer. And it's funny because when I first saw the sample photos, I was like, oh, these poses look so stiff. And then they had the 3D turnaround release of the photos, and I was like, it's really stiff. But I gotta say, actually holding it in person, I do feel a bit better about them. I really do. I don't feel so good about the tiny little tassels that can bend and snag on anything and everything as you're trying to push fit these together. Some of these models, I admit, I actually cut off some of the push parts, the knobs, the key, whatever you want to call it, and just went and straight and glued it. This guy's head did not, or her head, the elf's head, did not want to go into the joint there at all. So glued that. A couple of the hands did not want to fit. This is another head that did not want to go in. I like this model, but this one, the pose to me looks silly. I think they could have posed this one a little bit nicer, which is a shame because the model itself, everything is, technically really nice. Everything fits smoothly. Needs more cleanup there on the top knot, but we can work on that still. And then finally, the one I wanted the most was Mr. Cowhead. Now you can see the big old globs of glue on his shoulder pads there. Those did not want to fit together. In fact, I had the worst time trying to get his arms to line up flush with the rest of his body, because you got to do that before you plug in the backpack, and then you plug in the front piece of the shoulder plates, and then you plug everything into the backpack here to hold it all in. And it did not want to cooperate at all. And I still need to do some cleanup on a lot of these, but I was most interested in the Cowheads as it is. So I like this guy. I think they're going to be an interesting bunch to paint. I really do. I have no clue how any of them play. Don't ask me. Hopefully, since I am going to be on vacation soon from work, I can get a chance to at least maybe try it on my own against myself, or get the kids or my wife to play. I doubt it, but we can try. So overall, I kind of feel like of the 4 seasons of Underworlds that we've had at this point, I'd say this is probably, at least for the order side, probably the most complex. And I don't know if I'd actually recommend it for beginners. I really don't. I feel like the original Shadespire was probably the best in terms of easy to put together. They are push fit, but I felt like these were a lot more complex. And the Slaanesh stuff was pretty simple, but the Lumineth, I'd say, were a little bit harder. I'd say if you have younger kids or younger people that want to try the game, do possibly help out a little bit. I think getting some of those pieces off is going to be a real chore. Not like the big chunky Stormcast. I don't mind that we're not having Stormcast, or maybe we'll have some new chamber open up with Brian Blessed yelling about it, but I'd be okay with that too, to be honest. In case you're curious just how these stack up size-wise, I do have a couple other Underworlds models. So like I said, if Our daughter Arcane here is a regular-sized human. You can see he's quite a bit bigger. Even our Untamed Beast guy isn't as tall as him. So, definitely an interesting bunch. Oh yeah, this guy did not attach his arms to yet. We'll have to fix that too. Time for some more glue. So anyway, an interesting bunch. Definitely an interesting bunch. Not a group I would necessarily recommend for beginners. Take of that as you will. It's not that they're the most complex kit. They're not as fiddly as stuff like the Vansar for Necromunda, but I think just due to the delicate nature of a lot of these guys' parts, I don't know if I could recommend it for people just starting out in the hobby. If you don't mind a challenge, hey, more power to you. But, I mean, the final results, they do look really cool. And I'm going to be more than happy to continue to see what GW is going to be pushing out this season. At least in terms of sculpts and models, I have yet to be disappointed with anything that has come with the Underworlds logo on the box. And I gotta say, they give you a lot of bang for your buck compared to a lot of the other GW kits out there. You know, if you wanted to buy one of the Lumineth boxes of 5 guys for 50, 60 bucks, I mean, that is an option, or you can get the starter set with everything you need to play in here for just about the same price. So, to me, this is where I'm going to err, but that's just my own personal take on what I want for the tabletop. So, take that at what you will. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.